Hello everyone, my name is Charlie Young, and today the topics we were discussing show you about introduction of Maritime cluster and the hinterland part 2. And here it is outlines, because last time already discussion about the outlines, definition of Maritime cluster, feature of Maritime cluster, evolution process of Maritime cluster. So today we are continuing to discussion about the roadmap policy maker developing Maritime cluster. That means how to make the Maritime cluster in nearby port. And also number 5, we show a case study of the Maritime cluster and hinterland policy here. Okay. So here's a roadmap to policy making in developing the Maritime cluster, developing Maritime cluster in complex texts that require many actors. For example, the collaborate sometimes under instruction by we say the publics and the private sector. Also, because it required the policy framework, so how to good management and the leadership, and great view of opportunity and challenge is quite very important. So policymaker will know how to make support the Maritime cluster, and they should not do that. Okay, so here is a roadmap for use. So first one to number 1, that means foster efficiencies, emphatic policy framework. Number 2, enable the competence developments and the knowledge sharings. And also will be number 3, let's engage the cluster in the maritime spatial and planning and integrated coastal management. Number 4, that means promotes to embrace the Maritime cluster and part of smart specialization. And the number 5, let's promote marketing and visibility of a Maritime cluster, stimulate the trans-boundary collaboration, enhance Maritime cluster management. Case study of Maritime cluster. So we will show some 3 countries, including London, and the UK London port, and Japanese port, and including the Dutch, that's Germany Maritime cluster, for hinterland policy. First one, we say show the case 5.1 case study of London Maritime cluster. So we know the Maritime cluster is industry UK quite very famous in there are so many very important. It's not only international nationals, their organization or institution in the UK. So including the email, including some insurance Lloyd's list, quite very famous in the world. And over 1,035 companies and 750 companies or organization participate in the maritime activity in London. So London is a hub. Okay, so and continues here is a show the maritime service cluster in the London. So including shipping, they have UK shipping companies and the industry associate, including the national or international. Our intermediate service, so including the legal and insurance and banking, finance. Also including the support service, including the medias, newspaper, and the maritime education, and major agency, and the ICT service, the regulator, for example, the politics exchange, some Lloyd's, and the classification socialists. Okay. So here is another, just show you their relationship between based on the UK government, the different association with so-called stakeholder to set up this kind of maritime cluster relationship. Okay, here to show you are some London list their company, including the shipping agent, forwarding the 336, ship owner operator management 206, marine insurance 193, ship broker 143, and so on. So you can see a lot of we say associate or we say relatives are sector is correct gathering in London. Here is estimates of sales. So we can say number of company report 206, for example, the owner operator, and sale company reporting and 4 millions 5 are 568 millions. 8,568 millions. Okay. Here's which competing center is most likely to use London, because Singapore is close regional economics, reading the globe in the trade and alternative Far East. Commitment and backing the governments. Of course, they get some support from their governments. Lower costs with education, labor force, and the good living condition for in the infrastructure, so they can offer the foreigner to live there. How about Shanghai? Shanghai, including growth case in the Asia economics more faster. Move on shipping to the Far East. Of course, their port is number 1 in the world, especially container cargoes. Support by the government and the cheap labor cost. Number 3 is Hong Kong. Of course, volumes of regional trades and special for transshipment. Established maritime cluster will quit by expensive. Of course, their living costs very expensive. New York growing the U.S. Shipping and trades of economic, financial, and the business service. So they also show another place, for example, the Dubai, Beirut, and Norway. Here is overview of maritime cluster in Japan, because co-active industry. We know that in Japan is very famous. Their their shipbuilding. So those are included in the shipping companies. So it's with core industry. So in shipping there are 47 billion US dollar. Shipbuilding 27 billion US dollar. So, and also NAM's cores, the maritime industry, 20 billions, including some warehouse, trading house, and public service finance and support. How about the industry close to maritime 1 billion US dollars, Coast Guard, marine development, and the right side, let's mean erect industry, the 11 1 billion US dollar, retail, street, car, and so on. And here is just show you the Japanese language. So character, it's marine. Here is ship and buildings. Here is Siemens. Here is support and erecting system. Here is setting up the maritime industry cluster. Co-activity of Japan's maritime, so including machine industry and the shipbuilding. Of course, just mentioned in the world's number 3 is very important country to is famous for shipbuilding, including the South Korea, China, and Japan. Shipping is ocean going 47 billions. Of course, they are the 3 shipping companies right now are special for a container sector. They have emerged, become one shipping companies. Okay. Here is just show you the concentration shipyard in western Japan. So here is just show the different areas. They have some their shipyard, their market share maybe. Here is a Dutch. Let's mean Netherlands. Their maritime cluster here. and it's very important place nearby the Rotterdam. Okay, so Netherlands have the open economics, one very famous 10 leading exporter. So maritime cluster quite contributes significantly to the position because more than half of the turnovers from abroad. So they totally export turnover of cluster around over maybe 21 billions in 2013. But of course, they in the business will do very good jobs. So the Netherlands or Dutch is part of North Sea basin, and beside the Netherlands, Denmark, Belgium, Germans have biggest GPT, so quite very important place to produce a very large GPT. And the 1 billion euro industry compliance 17,200 companies, and employing about 259,000 people, and which is a 2.9% material improvements of Netherlands. So in 2018, that means this figure represent maritime industries. They can hire a lot of people to for this country. Here is a maritime cluster for the Netherlands. So they're similar to London, and but different nation. They have in possession of different coal industry here. So maritime service, shipbuilding, and so very similar. Okay, here is another show you maritime cluster. Of course, they use study02 to do analysis. For example, strike significant role of maritime sector for a Dutch business, and also the gas strike declining the direct improvements, and also the weakenings lag behind improvements compared with the general business style, because here's maritime quite very so very hard job for some people. Yeah, no more people. Yeah, and opportunities advanced training of our student and existing procedure. Yeah, so they offer a lot of good job for the newcomer, especially for young men. Okay, so here is my questions, basically for the student. Comments are short for port hinterland developments of for our international commercial port in host state. Propose the port hinterland development policy for international commercial ports based on maritime cluster viewpoint in host state. Okay, my name is Yi-Chih. Today is I just introduce about what is the port hinterland and policy, and also to introduce 3 countries there are port hinterland policy, including our Germany's, including the London's, UK's, and Japan and Netherlands. Okay, thank you for listening. Hope you see you again. And if you have any comment on my our teaching materials, okay, please send email to me and at gyng@mkusd.edu and tw. Thank you for listening.